During the war, I was in the 42nd Infantry Rainbow Division Reconnaissance Unit. I was 22 years old when we landed in Marseille, France, just before Christmas, 1944. My unit of 28 men in 7 jeeps was first into the towns as we moved east. We reconnoitered ahead of the foot soldiers for mines and enemy troops. It was great not to be on foot, but it was dangerous to be the advance party. The first thing we did when we came to a town was locate the church and shoot out the steeple, because enemy snipers notoriously hid in the church steeples. We moved east from Marseille, and by March 1945 we crossed the Rhine and headed to Würzburg, Germany. We continued east to Nuremberg and then south to reconnoiter the road to our destination, Munich. On April 29, 1945, we came upon a village we'd never heard of called Dachau. The village was deserted. We headed for the church and shot out the steeple. The instant we shot out the steeple, all the dickens broke loose. From nowhere, lots of people, strange-looking people in striped clothing, came toward us. In broken English they said, "Thank you, liberators, thank you." It was confusing for us. 2 young men approached and said, "Come with us. People are being murdered. People are dying in boxcars." They looked so strange, almost circus-like, in their striped clothing, that we warned them not to be playing a prank. We went into the camp. We were prepared for a fight, but not for anything like this. We didn't know what we had stumbled upon. We saw sick people. We saw walking skeletons. We called for the medical corps. Tanks and foot soldiers busted into the camp. One soldier did know what was going on. Oscar Wells was a Jew, born and raised in Germany. He had been sent to England as a war orphan. He had an axe to grind. He asked the inmates to point out which of the SS guards did most of the tormenting. He lined up those 50 men and used a machine gun. He was court-martialed for killing prisoners of war. The commander-general of the court-martial was General George Patton. When he heard the story, he told Sergeant Wells, "You did a hell of a good job." My reconnaissance unit was in Dachau only 1 day, and then we were on to Munich. In Vienna, after the war, we met survivors of other camps. We wanted to help them any way that we could. They told us that their families didn't know that they were still alive. I used my own P.O. box to mail their letters all over the world. Some of those letters were returned, and I gave copies of them to Yad Vashem. The 2 young men who first approached us stayed with our unit and became our kitchen help. When it was time for me to be discharged in May 1946, I took them to the JDC office in Vienna. The Joint helped resettle them. One stayed in Vienna. The other, Marcel Levy, had an uncle in Palestine, and he moved to Israel. We have maintained a strong bond over these 70 years and are still very close. At least something has arisen from the ashes of Dachau.